Hi everyone, it's time for a Facebook Live thing. So today I'm going to do something different. Um, I'm being brave, but I've been working with this little small whiteboard and it's been frustrating me because I can't draw properly to explain what I'm trying to tell people or to express myself properly. And for today's topic, it's quite important that I can talk and draw and talk and draw. So I've carried up my whiteboard here from downstairs so that I can talk to you guys properly today. So today's topic is about vision sharing, and I want to take a dual approach. So on the one hand, we do a lot of work with organizations where we talk about how do you create buy-in into vision. That was what my whole PhD in Wara Wara was all about. But ultimately the idea is that your own vision and purpose is aligned with where you work and what you do on a daily basis. So if we can say that all the individuals first need to understand what their own vision and personal vision and purpose is, and then you match it with the organization's personal vision and purpose. But it's not always that simple, and I think more and more it's like when you try to find a partner, a life partner, there's this story or this thing that you think you're going to find this person that's going to be everything for you and fill all the gaps for you, and it doesn't work that way. So and the same thing sort of applies with this sort of thing about what you're meant to be doing. And some people wake up as children and they know exactly what they're meant to be doing. They know from the moment they open their eyes, they want to be a doctor or a hairdresser or something like that. And those are the lucky few people in the world. But we are not all like that. So we generally sort of figure it out as you go along. And I think in a similar fashion, I heard this really cool story this morning about, I can't remember exactly, so I'm going to waffle a little bit. I can't exactly remember who wrote it, but what they basically said was this, that this triangle was trying to find her perfect match to be full. Okay, so she was looking for a Pac-Man. So I can just imagine this little triangle looking for a Pac-Man. And she couldn't find the Pac-Man that she was the perfect fit for. And then the big O, the big circle, came to her and said, listen, why don't you just roll with what you've got? And as she was rolling, she became full because she broke off all her pieces, the things that were sticking out, and she became perfect. And that's basically how I see what we do in our purpose and our passions and our visions and our careers as well. But what I do want to talk about is how do you take, if you know what you want to achieve in life and where you want to go and how you want to operate, how do you take that and how do you share it? So I'm a huge fan of Simon Sinek's work, and you probably saw his video that went like massively viral. The thing that says, he talks about starting with why. So he goes and he does this little circle and he says one of the big things is we usually start when we sell a vision. We talk about what we sell, and then we talk about how we're going to do it, and maybe you'll get to the why. And what he said is you've got to start with the why. You've got to start there and then you move inwards. And he talks about Apple that does it really, really well, etc. So have a look. I'll see if I can find that link for you, and then I'll also share that as well. But I want to take a little bit of a different approach to this because I agree fully with what he's saying, and I think it's very healthy and it's very, what's the word, commendable and whatever. But I want to take a little bit of a different approach. So the approach that I want to take is I want to say, and I think some time ago I shared a little iceberg picture, and that's basically what it's all about. So if you think about what goes on in the world, if you could say, because this is how we usually sort of, that's the waves, can you see the waves? And this is the deep blue sea. So often what we do is, I hope you guys can see, let me just move it a little bit closer. So what happens is that on top there are often things that we actually do. That's the stuff that, that's basically your what. So what do you spend your time on? But ultimately where you want to go to is you want to go to here, which is your why, and you want to work your way up to your what and how you're going to do it. So whether you're going to be surfing or whatever, or be riding a boat, or you're going to be swimming with the dolphins, or whatever the thing is that you're going to be doing ultimately. but the why is right down here. And often what we find is that our purpose and our passions and our things that are really important to us is so deep, and it comes out in our subconscious. It comes out in our unconscious states when we're sleeping and we're dreaming about things. And that is our deeper purpose that we've got to bring up from the iceberg, and not just, the top bit that's all about what is it that we're doing on a daily basis. There are so many stories of people that if you ask the two same people what is it that they're doing, the one person will tell you, no, I'm actually just slamming this piece of iron, while the next person will be able to say to you, no, we're building and I'm contributing. So I want to challenge you today by saying, okay, so if you are clear on your purpose, you're very blessed and you're very lucky, but how are you expressing that vision, that personal vision that you have? Because the reality is, for those of us that are very, very clear on where we want to go, what is it we want to achieve this year, or in the next 5 years, or whatever the case is, it's the mood that you're going to be in to be able to get that done is going to be far higher than those of us that are not so sure. So for those of us that are not so sure, how are you sitting in that uncertainty? How do you feel, or how do you make sure that you're still able to show up, to do different things, and to be in a certain state, not to get affected by the fact that you might not have a perfect picture, but you might have a very good idea of what works for you. So I just quickly want to add one more thing, and that was, when you think about your passion, often people say, the ideal is that you do something that you're passionate about. And I'm quite naive when it comes to that sort of thing, or maybe too optimistic. But I do believe it's so important that whatever you do needs to align with your passion. And it has to do something that really fires you up. So my challenge to you then is to say, look at your day and what you spend your time with. And what do you value, and the way you spend your time shows how you value whatever you're doing. So I want to ask you, when you go through your day, where do you feel most fired up? What is it that really, what are your likes? What are your interests? Because the reality is this, the stuff that you like, that you're interested in, are probably going to be linked very much to your passion. And you also, by the way, it's very much correlating with what you're good at. So the chances that you're going to be good at those things is incredibly good. So I would suggest that if you're part of a team, make sure that you contribute those actions, that you contribute those things that you're good at, and that you try to do the stuff that you like. And for those things, we're not always that lucky to not be able to do the stuff that we don't like, whether it is public speaking or whether it's admin. There are always a way to either learn the skill if you really want to, or find somebody and get better at it, or find somebody or something, some process that can take that away from you, so you're able to deliver on it. I hope that you have a beautiful day today, and I hope this makes sense. I see it's a little bit dwarf, but you get the idea of the iceberg and the stuff on top, and that's just what we see, but we don't really know what's going on down there. And you need to make sure that whatever that's driving you deep down needs to come out in some way that makes you happy and that is aligned with you and who you are. Okay guys, I hope you have a fantastic day. Lots of love.